AMD is coming out with something fresh, especially if you're looking for the top gaming CPU out there in the market. AMD is going to have a successor soon to be released called the 9850X3D. And it really hasn't quite leaked out as much. Same thing with the 9950X3D too. Those who already have a 9800X3D or a 9950X3D will want to listen closely, especially if you're looking for some performance gain. If you're trying to pull from that gorgeous 4K or even 8K OLED panel. If you've been waiting to get your hands on a decent CPU for your upcoming build or upgrading your PC, the 9850X3D will feature 8 cores and 16 threads, pretty much similar to what the 9800X3D does offer. So the standard clock looks like it's going to be more than likely around 5.2 gigahertz, and the boost clock can go up as high as 5.6 gigahertz. This will give it a 400 megahertz advantage over the 9800X3D. It will also stay at the TDP of 120 watts. There's not going to be any extra wattage like the 9950X where it can push up to 170 watts. Seems that the rumored V-cache didn't really pan through as expected for many of us. Instead, it'll remain more than likely with a 98 megabytes of L3 cache. Now the 9950X3D, it's where it gets a bit interesting. 16 cores, 32 threads, similar to the original 9950X3D. Clock speeds are around 4.3 gigahertz, but can boost up as high as 5.6 gigahertz. That's similar to its predecessor. There is some words that it may change. Instead of the full out 5.6 gigahertz boost clock, it can end up pushing another 400 megahertz, making it up to 6 gigahertz of boost clock. Certainly would make the 9950X3D2 a bit more attractive, but that's not all. The 9950X3D2 is allegedly holding a mega 192 megabytes of L3 cache, compared to the 128 megabytes of L3 cache. This is where it gets a bit different. Instead of taking advantage of one CCD, with Vcache, it'll feature up to 2 3D Vcache arrays. There's even rumors that the lowered quality CCDs will be recycled to the new 6-core Zen 5 processor, possibly even a Ryzen 5 9650X. AMD had put up an official placeholder, and that's right, on their own website, for the Ryzen 7 9850X3D. This is the same chip that leaked back out in October of 2025, and as it is part of its upcoming Granite Ridge Ryzen 9000X3D lineup, here's where it may make you think of upgrading to the new lustrous lineup. Allegedly, there were test rigs utilizing Maxsun's MS Esport B850ITX as the motherboard model, and the Colorful's CVM B850M Frozen V14A design. Both of these test rigs were both verified through Geekbench 6.3. And yes, it was under Windows 11. Results indicate performance in close range of AMD's Ryzen 9800X3D CPU today. Firstly, the 9850X3D multi-core setup was a bit lower compared to the original Ryzen X 9800X3D. Still, it's way too early to tell, especially as Geekbench is one of the synthetic benchmarks. Just to let everyone know that both Maxsun's and Colorful's test rigs were not running on system memory. They were running about 32 gigabytes in total, a maximum transfer rate between up to 4,800 mega transfers per second. This was all recorded during the middle of November. Thanks to Videos Card's notes that there is in fact plausible variables, which are early firmware grades and adjustments and caution of the power parameters. The Colorful motherboard was able to boost the processor's core clock up to 5602 megahertz, compared to Maxsun's motherboard and CPU sample of the 9850X3D, which was slightly behind 5385 megahertz. There was a screenshot that HXL had put out on X, aka Twitter, to have on hand a Asus AYW motherboard that is a B850, and it's running a Ryzen 9850X3D with an insane 9800 megahertz. Of course, who wants to check for stability, especially for the price of that type of RAM? What certainly helps the case of this leak is that both benchmarks contain both similar hardware info of the upcoming Ryzen 7 9850X3D SKU, which seems inevitable for release with 8 cores, 16 threads, 4.7 GHz base clock, but more than likely now it could be even up to 5.2 gigahertz thanks to the screenshot by HXL, 96 megabytes of L3 cache, which holds the lineage of Granite Ridge line. Is it something that you would be interested in getting as a 9850X3D or the 9950X3D 2? And more than likely it's going to be inevitable for the release to show up at CES 2026. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel and make sure you catch me live at CES 2026. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you think down below.